Today is May 21st, 2020, and I'm going to talk a little bit about DUI law here in Indiana. Basically, under DUI, which is driving under the influence, in Indiana is technically called OVWI, operating a vehicle while intoxicated. In other states, it may be OVI, operating a vehicle intoxicated. It may be called DWI, driving while under the influence. Basically, all these are umbrella terms for operating a vehicle while under the influence. And a lot of people think that means drinking, but also it can mean that you are under the influence of a prescription or non-prescription drug or some other illegal substance. So it does not have to be drinking by itself. In Indiana, the first offense is usually a misdemeanor. However, it can be a felony if you are found to have someone maybe under the age of 18 in your car, if you crashed and caused bodily injury, killing someone, cause the offense to be greater. In Indiana, they use what's BAC, blood alcohol content, and if it's 0.08 or higher, then basically that's all they need to show that you were intoxicated. That's per se, you're intoxicated if it's 0.08. A lot of people hear 0.08 and think that's the magic number. It's the magic number for the state to say that you're intoxicated. However, you can be charged with DUI, OVWI, if you have a BAC, blood alcohol content, that is less than that. Now, it makes it harder for the state to prove because we all know 0.08, we hear the commercials, all the advertisements, things like that, talking about 0.08, that's the magic number. But there are cases, and I've had a few, where the person was less than 0.08 and the state still charged them with a crime of OVWI. Now, the penalties, like I said, they do vary based upon the level of intoxication. If you are above 0.15, then it can be a higher offense if you were at just 0.08. So think of it like this: if it's if it is a 0.15 or higher, then that makes it a Class A misdemeanor, and Class A misdemeanor subjects you to 1 year in jail, $5,000 fine. So if, like I said earlier, if someone is under the age of 18 and you're over the age of 18 and you drive and you're intoxicated, they can charge you with a level 6 felony. And also, if causing death, you get into level 5 felony. If you get multiple offenses, they can increase not only how much time you have to do, but also the level of felony. Driver's license suspension. If you are a commercial driver and you have a blood alcohol content of 0.4, you can lose your CDL. Basically, if you're driving commercially, you should have no alcohol or any illegal drug in your system. And then even if you refuse to submit to a blood alcohol test, that is not going to end all your troubles, because under the law, if you refuse to submit to a blood alcohol test, they can suspend your license for 1 year. Now, the good thing is that in Indiana, they do have specialized driving privileges, and people that have charges of OVWI, they can apply for a special driving privileges. But if you refuse to submit to the blood alcohol test, which they call a refusal, then you will not qualify for a special driving privilege. So think of it in those terms. It's kind of a catch-22. You submit to the blood alcohol test, and if it's over 0.08, they have more evidence to convict you. But if you don't submit to it, then they suspend your license for a year, and you cannot get a special driving privilege. So you're in a really tight spot in that type of situation. Main thing to do is, if you do get pulled over for a OVWI in Indiana, is know your rights and plead the fifth. Do not talk to the police. and tell them how many drinks you had, because they're going to say, have you been drinking? Common response is yes, just a couple. You don't have to answer that question. You can give them your name, you can give them your driver's license. That's it. But where you've been, how much you've been drinking, you do not have to answer those questions. Plead the fifth. Ask for an attorney. And if you have any questions, contact the law office of Mark Nicholson. I'm experienced with OVWI cases.